So you have an app or a piece of software and you want to notify one of your users or a bunch of your users. Push notifications aren't always available and sometimes they are just a headache to set up. Text notifications are a great alternative. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up text notifications using Twilio. We'll cover setting up your account, buying a phone number, sending text from that phone number, and if you watch to the end of the video, I'm also going to show you how to customize what happens if somebody texts your phone number. So if you send a notification and someone replies back, what do you want to happen? We're going to set all of that up in this video. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing you need to send messages with Twilio is a Twilio account. So go ahead and go to twilio.com and create your account. Once you create your account, you'll land on a page that looks somewhat like this. And the first thing you should do is go ahead and upgrade to a paid account. The reason you need to upgrade is because you do have a trial plan, but in the trial plan, you can only send text messages to yourself, essentially. So you can't actually send them to other people. So if you want to use Twilio as a notification platform to send text to other people, you need to actually upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this form and check in with you in a second. All right, so once you have funded your account, it will take a second for Twilio to update everything, but you should be able to go back to your dashboard and then click into your Twilio account here. And once everything is good and ready to go, that upgrade option should no longer show and you should have a balance for your project as denoted here. Once you have a paid Twilio account, the next thing you'll want to do is actually go ahead and buy a phone number. So you can come to Manage and Buy a Number. So with Twilio, you can send messages from local numbers, and then they also have toll-free numbers. Toll-free numbers are great for a number of reasons, but one of them is you can send more messages without getting put on like a spam list. So it's better for sending notifications. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a toll-free number for this demo. Once we bought the number, we can give it a friendly name. We'll just say app notifications. And then we need to define an emergency address. And this is just for kind of legal reasons if there's ever an emergency with this number. So now that we have a phone number to send text from, Twilio has a ton of different ways to integrate with their API and do this. I'm going to be doing this through Zapier because it's a really simple way to set this up. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new Zap, and I'm going to send these through a webhook trigger. So I'm going to choose the trigger of webhooks and catchhook. And then here, I'm going to copy over this URL. And then I'm going to be triggering the webhook from a little demo project inside of Glide. So basically in Glide, we're going to enter in a phone number and a message, and then we're going to send the text whenever we click this button. So we're actually going to trigger the webhook whenever we do this button. So let me go ahead and create a new action on that button click to trigger a webhook. So the webhook, I need to add in the actual URL. So we'll say send text, and then we're going to pass into that the message and then the phone number that we're actually going to be sending stuff to. And then just some housekeeping things for whenever we actually press that button. Let's clear out everything that is currently entered, and then we'll show a notification of text sent, or text queued rather. And then we'll give this a name of send text. So now we have that action set up to call the Zap. So let's just put in a phone number for now, 333-3333, and then a message. We'll just say, hello, and then send text. All right, that text was queued. And so now when you come back to Zapier, what that did was call a webhook to Zapier. And so now we can continue and test the trigger. And now we can see the phone number came through with hello. So now we can continue. So now the trigger is set up with a webhook. So now we actually need to put in or connect to Twilio to actually send the text message. So we're going to choose Twilio and we're going to do a send SMS action. Then we need it to connect to a Twilio account. Now I've already actually connected mine, but if you need to connect yours, you would just connect a new account. They tell you exactly the page to go to. It's just this link right here. So the first thing you need is your account SID, and then you also need an auth token, which is on this page linked here. And so the auth token is right here, and I'm not going to show that to you, but you would just view that and then copy that and then paste that into the Zapier form. And then you would have your Twilio account all set up. So now that Twilio is connected, you choose the number you want to send from, and I'm going to choose app notifications because that's the number that we're using for this test. The to number is going to be the number that comes through the webhook. And one thing that is required is you have to add a 1 at the beginning of the number. So for this demo, I'm just going to put a 1 and then list the 10-digit number. And then the message is going to be the message that is also sent through the webhook. And then finally, we can continue. So now I'm going to test this, and I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, so it says that the to number is not a valid phone number. So let's go ahead and set up a number that I can actually send messages to. All right, so I went ahead and grabbed a phone number off of Google Voice. Google Voice allows you to do text messages and phone calls from a number. So I'm just going to use that for now. And let's go back to Glide and let's enter in that phone number, and we'll give it a message of hello Google Voice. Let's send that text. Come back to Zapier. Let's refresh the test. So we'll grab that new request. We have that new number now, continue. And then send SMS is the same. All the Zapier stuff is the same, but now we should be able to continue and test and review. And now that SMS was sent, if we come over to the Google Voice message we just added, you can see that text was just sent from our new number that we have from inside of Twilio. Let's go ahead and turn this on and back to setup. So we could stop the video right here. Now to send text notifications, all you need to do is call this webhook. Again, you can grab this URL right here, or setup trigger rather, copy the URL right there and pass in the number and the message you want to send the notifications to. But one thing I always like to set up for people is what happens when someone replies back to this number. So say you send out a notification and someone asks a question. So I have a question. What happens when that gets sent back? Right now, it just says, thanks for your message. Configure your number's SMS URL to change this message. This is not a great user experience for your community or whoever you're sending these notifications to. So we're actually going to set this up so that whenever someone sends a message, we're going to have that message forward to your phone number so that you can receive that notification to your phone number. And then also we're going to reply back with a custom message. So we're going to replace this, and we're going to do all of this inside of Twilio. So let's go back to Twilio and let's come to Studio and try it out. So Studio is a kind of like a no code flow builder inside of Twilio. So it's similar to Zapier, how you're able to do triggers and actions, but we're actually going to try it out and I'm going to show you how to do it. So we'll just call this one forward and respond. We're going to create a new flow inside of Twilio. We'll start from scratch. So this right here, we can see this is the trigger. So similar to how Zapier has triggers. So once something is triggered, we need to do an action. We're going to do an action on an incoming message. So if we come to this widget library over here, we can come to messaging and choose the send a message action. We're going to rename this to, let's say forward message. And we're just going to drag this incoming message node down here to forward message. So whenever an incoming message comes in, we want to forward the message. So let's go ahead and set up this action. So we'll say new message from, and then to paste in variables inside of flow, you just do the curly braces, double curly braces, and then we can type in from to search. And so we want to say this message was from this number. This will pull in the number that the text came in from. We can return, and then we want to paste in the body of the actual message. So I'll label this as body. We'll do the curly braces, type in message to search, and let's do trigger message body. That's what it is. Trigger message body. So this is going to be the body of the text message that is forwarded to me. And then down here, we can configure where the message is sent to. So right now, by default, this will send the message back to the person that sent us a message. So I want to replace this with my number. And I'm just going to paste in my temporary Google Voice number for now, just for this demo. So we'll do that. And then let's add a country code on top of that, just to make sure everything's good. I'm just going to clear out all the extra stuff. Just keep it simple. So we'll save that. Cool. So now we have the forward message working. Let's go ahead and add in another send message action. And we'll add this below or after the forward message. And this one we'll call reply or respond. And for this, we can just say, thanks for your message. We will be in touch soon. And then by default, this automatically will respond to the person who texted in. So we can leave that the same. So now let's save this. And we'll send this right after we do that forward message. So we'll forward the message and then we'll respond to the user, letting them know that we got the message. So now we can publish this flow, and then let's go back to the number that we're working with. So go to active numbers, we'll go to that toll-free number, and then we want to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And here where it says messaging, we want, instead of we want to change this when a message comes in action. And instead of triggering a webhook, let's actually trigger a studio flow, which is what we just created. And we will select a flow, which is going to be this forward and response. That's the flow that we just created. And let's save that. So now whenever somebody responds, it will forward the number right now to this number here. So forward it to Google Voice, and then also respond to them with a new custom message. And so now I'm going to do this, and we are expecting, in this particular scenario, 2 texts to come to this number. Since I'm sending a message, I want to receive a message back, but then also I'm also forwarding the message to this number because in this scenario, this number is also my number. All right, hope that's clear. Okay, this is a big test. So let's send that, and then let's see what happens. Awesome. So now we get 2 messages back. We get the message that was forwarded saying that a message came in from here, and this is what they said. And then we also get the message as a response to us texting our notification text line. All right, so let's review. So you have an application and you want to send a text notification. To do that, you can call a webhook specific to Zapier, and you can use that to trigger an action inside of Zapier to send the text message. That will then call the Twilio API to send out a text message on your number's behalf. And then if you want to do something special when somebody responds, you can create a custom flow inside of Twilio to forward the message to your number and then respond to whoever texted that number and let them know that you will be in touch soon. Hey, thanks so much for watching to the end of this video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe. Now in this video, you saw me build a kind of demo Glide app, triggering webhooks from a button click all inside of Glide. If you want to learn how to build no-code apps and pages just like that, I have an entire playlist right here that I think you'll be interested in. It goes through me basically building from scratch a bunch of different Glide projects. So go ahead and check that out right now. Cheers and happy coding.